What made a small island nation in Southeast Asia become the United States' most dependable partner in the region? What historical bonds, military ties, and diplomatic moves transformed the Philippines into the strongest Asian ally of the world's most powerful country? The story of the Philippines and the United States is not one of mere convenience, it's a tale shaped by shared struggles, strategic cooperation, and decades of evolving interests. While Asia is full of rising powers and shifting alliances, the Philippine-American relationship has remained remarkably resilient. This video explores how this unique bond was built, brick by brick, from the colonial era to the present day. From American occupation to World War II camaraderie, from Cold War containment strategies to counterterrorism missions, and from regional power balances to modern-day geopolitical chess with China, the relationship between these two nations has continuously adapted, matured, and grown stronger. Unlike other alliances based only on mutual benefit, the Philippines and the United States have created a connection deeply rooted in culture, politics, defense, and history. This alliance hasn't always been smooth. There were moments of resistance, independence movements, and even times when the relationship appeared fractured. But through it all, both countries found reasons to return to each other, especially in times of crisis. Whether it was a natural disaster, a military threat, or a regional dispute, the US and the Philippines have consistently stood side by side. In this in-depth video, we will explore 10 major reasons why the Philippines has emerged as America's closest ally in Asia. Each reason uncovers a deeper layer of their enduring partnership. From shared military bases and common enemies to cultural influences and mutual defense treaties, this video takes you on a journey into diplomacy, strategy, and human connection. Let's explore how the Philippines became the unshakable cornerstone of American strategy in Asia. A shared colonial legacy. The roots of the alliance stretch back to the late 1800s, when the Philippines became a colony of the United States after the Spanish-American War. This era may be controversial, but it created an undeniable link between the two countries. American governance laid down systems of public education, law, and governance that still influence Filipino society today. The English language, democratic ideals, and an affinity for American culture took root during this period, making the Philippines culturally closer to the US than most Asian nations. While the colonial experience was marked by conflict and resistance, it also built a foundation for the complex but enduring relationship that would develop in the years to come. Brothers in World War. Few bonds are as strong as those forged in the fire of war. During World War II, the Philippines and the United States stood side by side against Japanese imperial expansion. Filipinos fought alongside American soldiers in some of the most brutal battles in the Pacific. The infamous Bataan Death March, the resistance movements, and the eventual liberation of the Philippines created a narrative of shared sacrifice. American promises of rebuilding and support after the war only strengthened the emotional and political connection. This period cemented the Philippines as a strategic location and a loyal friend in the eyes of the United States. The Mutual Defense Treaty. Signed in 1951, the Mutual Defense Treaty between the Philippines and the United States is a cornerstone of their military relationship. The agreement ensures that both countries will support each other in the event of external attacks. This pact transformed the Philippines into one of the few nations in Asia with a formal defense agreement with the US. It gave Filipinos a sense of protection in a region filled with uncertainty and geopolitical tension. For America, it meant access to a critical ally in a region increasingly dominated by rival powers. This legal framework continues to guide military operations, joint training, and coordinated defense planning between the two nations. Strategic military bases. The Philippines has hosted some of the most important American military bases in Asia. During the Cold War, bases like Clark Air Base and Subic Bay Naval Base served as launch pads for U.S. military operations throughout the region. These facilities allowed the U.S. to maintain a strong presence in the Pacific and respond quickly to emerging threats. While these bases were eventually closed in the early 1990s, the spirit of cooperation never disappeared. In recent years, under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, the U.S. has once again gained access to key Philippine military installations, allowing for more flexible and rapid response capabilities across Asia. A united front against terrorism. After the 9/11 attacks, the alliance between the Philippines and the United States took on a new dimension: counterterrorism. The southern regions of the Philippines, plagued by radical groups like Abu Sayyaf and later ISIS-inspired factions, became focal points of joint military operations. U.S. Special Forces assisted in intelligence, logistics, and training Filipino troops to handle insurgent threats. This collaboration was not just about regional safety but also aligned with America's global war on terror. The success of these joint missions further solidified the U.S.'s trust in the Philippine military and deepened the sense of shared purpose. Countering Chinese aggression. As China continues to assert itself in the South China Sea, the Philippines has found itself on the front lines of a tense regional standoff. China's militarization of disputed islands and harassment of Filipino fishermen has alarmed not just Manila but also Washington. The Philippines has increasingly looked to the United States for support, both diplomatically and militarily. Joint patrols, naval exercises, and defense dialogues have intensified in response. The Philippines' strategic location near critical sea lanes makes it a natural partner in America's Indo-Pacific strategy aimed at containing Chinese influence. In this new Cold War of influence, the Philippines is America's most willing and vital partner. Deep cultural connections. Unlike many of America's alliances, the relationship with the Philippines is marked by deep cultural similarities. From basketball and fast food to Hollywood movies and pop music, American culture is woven into the daily lives of Filipinos. English is widely spoken, making communication seamless. Filipino nurses, teachers, and professionals thrive in the United States, building people-to-people connections that go far beyond government policies. These cultural ties create an emotional closeness that no amount of diplomacy can manufacture. When crises strike, it's not just governments that respond, it's people helping people. Diaspora influence and remittances. Millions of Filipinos live and work in the United States, forming one of the most successful immigrant communities in the country. These overseas Filipinos act as unofficial ambassadors, strengthening the bonds between the two nations through cultural, economic, and familial ties. Remittances from the U.S. form a significant part of the Philippine economy, giving the U.S. a unique soft power advantage. At the same time, the Filipino community in America actively engages in political advocacy, pushing for policies that maintain strong ties between their two homes. This diaspora-driven diplomacy often achieves what official channels cannot. Natural disaster response and humanitarian aid. Whenever typhoons, earthquakes, or volcanic eruptions strike the Philippines, the United States is often the first to respond. American aircraft carriers, helicopters, and humanitarian teams deliver critical aid and rescue operations. These acts of support create goodwill that lasts generations. For Filipinos, seeing the American flag arrive in moments of despair is a reminder that they are not alone. For the United States, these missions reinforce its role as a benevolent global leader and deepen trust with one of its closest allies. A relationship reinvigorated by modern geopolitics. In the face of shifting global dynamics, the Philippines has chosen to reaffirm its alliance with the United States. Recent administrations in Manila have renewed military cooperation, opened new joint-use facilities, and embraced closer diplomatic engagement. This renewed alignment is not just about shared history, it's a conscious decision to face modern threats together. The U.S., recognizing the importance of allies in Asia, has responded with increased military aid, development projects, and high-level diplomatic attention. What we are witnessing today is not a return to old habits but the birth of a 21st-century alliance built on mutual respect, necessity, and strategy. So, why does the bond between the Philippines and the United States remain so powerful in an era of unpredictable global politics? Because it is more than a defense strategy. It is a story of shared trials, victories, values, and futures. From the trenches of World War II to the halls of modern diplomacy, these two nations have walked together, adapted together, and risen together. The Philippines is not just another dot on America's map, it's the bridge between East and West, a partner in crisis, a cultural sibling, and a trusted friend in a region where trust is hard to earn. This bond proves that true alliances are built not just on contracts and treaties but on history, hope, and humanity. As China rises and the Indo-Pacific becomes the center of global power competition, this relationship will only grow more critical. The Philippines and the United States are ready, not just to defend each other but to shape the future together. If you've made it this far, it means you care about global affairs, international friendship, and the power of unity in an uncertain world. Let us know your thoughts, Do you believe the Philippines will remain America's strongest ally in Asia in the years to come? Or will new powers reshape the balance? Let's continue the conversation in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into global politics and the untold stories shaping our world.